What's happening, everyone? It's Calvin Magpie 24/7, and I hope you're all good. Newcastle won, Fulham nil. Newcastle returned to third in the Premier League, and everything seems hunky dory at the minute at Newcastle United. Fan fucking tastic. If there was a way to respond to losing to Sheffield Wednesday, the way would have been beat Leicester, get to the semi-final, beat Fulham, get back to third in the Premier League. Yeah, what an amazing response! 2 clean sheets. Um, I don't think we had a shot on target against if you don't count the penalty. That had to be that became an indirect free kick. But yeah, Eddie Howe went for an unchanged side. Um, I was really surprised because I didn't expect Joe Linton to start, especially with the drink driving stuff that's been going on. Um, which I know disappointed a lot of people, me included, because it is a serious, it is a serious thing, and like obviously drink driving is known to kill people and people who like it's a serious situation. Do you know what I mean? I was surprised that not only it was Joel but I was shocked that that he played at the weekend. Obviously Eddie Howe has said that the club will deal with it internally, which is how it should be done, dealt with in house and stuff like that. But the Eddie House starting Joe Linton must be a full act of support. The fans were behind Joe Linton yesterday, and I think he appreciated that towards the end because he stood and clapped the Gallagher at the end and kind of put his hands up in apology. Um, but yeah, that'll be dealt with internally. So it was just more of a shock that it happened, and hopefully Joe Linton can learn from his mistakes because it's a serious thing, and like it just shows a recklessness. But hopefully he's learned his lesson, and yeah, he can continue to become better on and off the field. But yeah, I've went on about that too much now. We'll get into the game. It was a tight first half. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Fulham were really good. Um, there's been teams that came to St James's this season, as you know, Leeds, Bournemouth, Palace. Like they've came up and they've put 10 men behind the ball, and they've hoped for a mistake somewhere. Fulham tried to take yesterday, and they played really well. And I was watching them, and I was watching a couple of their players, and I was just thinking like, these are a good team. Like people are saying they're sixth, and oh they'll fall off and stuff. I've seen Chelsea play St James's this season. I've seen a couple of good teams come up here, and Fulham's one of the better teams I've seen this season up St James's. Played really well, and like what blew me away is if you rewind a couple of seasons ago, it was the media were painted as final day, Craven Cottage, Newcastle versus Fulham, relegation. One's gonna go down, one's gonna stay up. And you fast forward, and when the first set of fixtures for like 13 seasons, where the top eight all play each other, and that's mental. Like Newcastle, Fulham, how far both teams have come, and like Fulham are like I know where we are based on merit, but Fulham are as well, man. They're a really good side. Marco Silva's definitely getting the best out of them players. There was one player in particular that really caught me eye, and that was Paulinho, that midfielder. He looks fucking amazing. Like, good enough to play for Newcastle. Midfield amazing. Like, I know I've been linked with a few midfielders, but I'd be surprised if he wasn't on the shortlist because what a fucking quality player he is. He's built like a brick shit house. He defends well, he reads the game well. Like, how Fulham have got him, I'd love to know, but brilliant player. But anyway, it was a tight affair. Like both teams trying to make it work, cancelling each other out a lot in the first half. We did have a couple of chances, but it was straight at Leno most of the time, which was a tad frustrating because how many games we've seen this season at home where it's been like we just kind of seem to kill teams off. But Obviously, the second half was mental. Um, as you know, obviously Fulham get the penalty, and when I seen it happen in live time, I didn't think the Trippier one was a penalty at all in real time. Um, I thought VAR was pulled back for the Dan Burn foul because he's clearing on goal and he pulls him back, and like from where me and Paul sit at the corner of the Gallagher, we seen it was a clear penalty, and I was shocked it wasn't given in real time. But obviously, 2.5, 3 minutes later, they go to VAR when we've got a corner, and Newcastle are very much in the ascendancy and getting grown into the game and having the better of the two teams. And then the penalty's given, and it's just like it that like it was a penalty, the Dan Burn one. But I'm more like why 2.5 minutes to get to a penalty decision? It's crazy. But obviously Mitrovic proves he's a Geordie, through and through, fucking mental. I've never seen a penalty like it. He did what Riviere did against QPR a few years ago. He kicked his own foot and the balls went a different direction to what he's entailed it to. But obviously it becomes a free kick to Newcastle. I thought it was in all honesty, it's me that needs to learn the rules, but I thought it was an immediate retake when that happened. Um, but Fulham seemed to have a thing with weird penalties. A couple of seasons ago, they had a chance to score a penalty in a winning game against West Ham away, and look, when chips a penalty, just straight at the goalkeeper. And this is the same type of penalty where Mitrovic, who scored best part of 60 goals since he signed for Fulham, like kicking his own foot and it going in. Feels like reminiscent to when we played Liverpool in the year we finished fifth, and Andy Carroll kind of went over in the box trying to get a penalty, but he had Krull already beat, and it was just like a former Newcastle striker kind of bottling it in front of the Leazers. But no, it was a bizarre penalty, but it woke the crowd up. Like everything just went mental from there. Isak was brought on, and I've got to say, like, he changed the game yesterday. He was unbelievable. Like, Eddie Howe went a bit bold and went 4-4-2, Wilson and Isak, and it seemed to work wonders. Like, Isak was running in between the channels. He was causing a lot of problems because Paulinho, up until that point, had a lot of joy. Um, just being able to read the game with one striker, and we weren't getting him behind enough. But when we brought two strikers on, we were a lot more direct. We had Maxi on the wing as well, which proved to be very effective. Um, and it was just like, yeah, it was we overpowered Fulham towards the end. Sean puts the ball into the box, who played amazing, by the way. Wilson manages to flick it through to Isak, who was an empty net, and 88 minutes, a great way to win the game because there was a sense Fulham were starting to time waste and starting to look like they were happy with the point, but we managed to pull through and get the 3 points, which was fucking brilliant in the end. Um, but yeah, an amazing win for Newcastle. I think Fulham are one of the better teams in the league this season. Like, I know not many will say that because it's Fulham, but they, they look really formidable. They've definitely improved leaps and bounds since we played them at Craven Cottage a couple of months ago. And I've got nothing but praise for them, so fair play to them. But a good win for Newcastle. We'll move on to next week away to Palace. That's gonna be a tough game. I know Palace have got a rough week because obviously they played Chelsea yesterday. They've got Man United in midweek, and then they've got us at the weekend. So they've got a couple of tough games on the bounce. Um, so yeah, they'll be looking to try and get a point or two off us and Man United. So yeah, big game for them, and obviously the games keep on coming. I think the results for the most part went our way last weekend, as well, because you've got Tottenham who got beat, you've got Liverpool that got beat, Chelsea are like 10 points behind, and we've got a good gap to the top four now, which is amazing. And obviously we're linked with players, and we're linked with potential midfielders to come in as well. So with additional reinforcements coming in, that quality and depth we might have a chance at this top four, you know, people. I don't wanna say like it's like locked in and we're there, but we're looking pretty good at the moment, and if we keep going on the trajectory that we're on, then you know what I mean. Like it'll be on Tottenham and Brighton and teams like that to really try and catch what up. But yeah, a really good game. Really happy with Isak. Honourable mention to Sean Longstaff as well. I thought he was brilliant on and off the ball. I know he has a couple of instances in games where I think at the start of the second half he put in the Gallagher at the top of the Gallagher and nearly hit someone. But um, I think he'll know himself that the shooting side needs to improve. But off the ball and his ability to win the ball in midfield. And I think there was a tackle towards the end of the first half where he had a where he tackled and were in on goal and like so he played amazing and fair play. If he keeps that standard, he'll stay in the squad. But there's always a question mark about whether he's good enough in the final third. Because obviously, you look at the Leicester game and he had however many chances, and it's just proven to be a little bit frustrating. Um, but yeah, let us know how you feel. I'm really happy with the win. On to the next one. Hopefully a signing or two through the door, because obviously Bruno picked up a little bit of a knock yesterday, but I'm not massively concerned. I think it's a twisted ankle at most, which will put him out for a week or two, because he did play on for the rest of the half. So if it was a break, he wouldn't have played the rest of the half. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I think it's just a case of wrapping him up in cotton wool and having for the semi final, if anything. But yeah, cannot wait for the next game. Leave a comment how you thought the game went. Who was your man of the match? And yeah, I'll catch you on the next Magpie 24/7 video. Everyone, leave a like, drop a subscribe if you haven't for Magpie 24/7, and I'll catch you on the next video. See you later.